So this time from the Masters of the Universe Classic line, we're taking a look at the September 2012 figure, a long-awaited figure in this line, and that is Mekaneck. Before we take a look at the figure, we're going to take a look at the back of the package here, and you can see the cross-cell figures on the back here, as well as the bio. Bio is pretty neat. Gives him, a familiar backstory. So the sculpt of the figure is pretty cool. Of course, let's take him down to like normal neck size, so he fits in frame a little bit better. Very nice, pretty straightforward reuse for the body, and of course the armor came with the Stinkor figure. We knew that it would eventually be used for Mekaneck, and you can see it still retains the hole for the tank backpack of Stinkor. Everything is pretty much a reuse. He's got the new boots that hide the pins here on the feet, so that's neat. The only real problem that I had is in several videos that I saw of early looks at the figure. Particularly, you might have seen Pixel Dan, his video. I got a little bit worried about the goggle eye pieces here. They seem to sit a little bit high up for my taste. But actually having the figure here, it's not as bad. I mean, I can imagine that his whole face was damaged, and that's why he wears this helmet now, and the goggles are a little bit more side, so basically his eyes need to be protected there, and that's why they kind of don't match up to like where sunglasses would be, where you think of goggles maybe being a bit further down on the nose than they are. So, I don't know, maybe other figures it sits up a little bit higher, but on mine it actually does look pretty good. And so that problem is a non-issue for me now. I love the paint on this guy. You have the metallic blue on his bracelets, or, well, whatever you want to call them. You have the metallic green and the regular green on his belt. You have the metallic silver on the armor and on his goggle pieces going all the way around. You have the nice red, matches pretty well to the red on the armor, and you have the nice, very vibrant blue with a little bit of shading here and there for the rest of his body. You have the silverish gray boots and the darker gray straps there, and it just really pop. I really like the color scheme on the vintage figure as well. For accessories, he of course comes with his club here, and the club was something that you never saw on the TV series. He just had it in as a figure, and that's nicely painted as well, detailed with this metallic golden paint around here and on the little, I guess, notches here. And it's really nice. It really invokes the classic weapon, or the vintage weapon as well. So that's neat. And of course he comes with his extending neck pieces. See the small one, very nicely detailed. And it's, again, got a metallic, like, more like a gunmetal gray going on in the background there. But very nice details there. Very Kirby-esque. Not only does he have the small one, but he has the large one as well. And that is just as nicely detailed with that gunmetal gray and the sort of Kirby tech details. I just love that. We'll get back to that in a moment. We'll go with the articulation. Is pretty much standard for DC, for Masters of the Universe. The head does go up and down, left and right, a little bit side to side. Arms go all the way around. Although I'm finding more and more that these arms, particularly the right arms, are a little bit harder to move than my left arms. Maybe that's just me. I'm getting figures that are oddly like that. But you see right there, it's very hard to move like that, and you can kind of see that it is like cutting into, there's bits of extra plastic, so maybe if I try and get an X-Acto knife in there, it'll loosen that up a little bit. But I'm not overly concerned. He rotates at the bicep, bends at the elbow, rotates at the wrist. He does have the waist articulation, or ab crunch, rather. The armor does not interfere with that in any way, so that's nice. Waist rotation, legs forward, back, out and in, bend at the knee, rotate at the boot, bend forward and back at the ankle, and he's got a little bit of the ankle pivot there. Now, for those of you who are wondering, you just pop his head off to put on the neck extensions, and there's one, and you put it there. His head does kind of sit at a upward glance with the neck pieces, the extended pieces, but he does have a slight up and down movement, but he is full rotation there, and again a slight side to side. And the articulation at the bottom joint here, you still get that, and so you can twist it left and right and go forward and back and side to side. With the larger piece as well, I find with the larger piece though, it does tend to droop forward like that, but you can get it going straight up like that. And you know, if you wanted it even taller, you could combine the two if you're so inclined, and even have a joint in the center so he can bend his neck a little bit more and you can see there just how tall his neck can be. Of course, again, this does droop a little bit if not positioned exactly right. It does tend to droop forward. Mekaneck was kind of like a one-trick pony. He's got his neck, and that's it. There isn't much beyond that in either of the cartoons. He does get an episode in the 2002 series where he wishes that he had a better power than his extending neck, and that leads to some trouble with Count Marzo. But he is eventually convinced of his unique ability to be a asset to the Masters team. 80s cartoon series, he was voiced by Lou Scheimer. And again, there were only 5 people really who did voices. And in the 2002 series, he was voiced by Gabe Kauth. Yeah, I really haven't heard much from him. It doesn't stand out as much as some of the other people involved in the 2002 series. So anyway, he's really a great figure. Your best bet now, he's sold out at MattyCollector.com. Unfortunately, all these figures probably sell out by the time I get these videos done. So your best bet is to look at a secondary toy store, like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth or eBay, where you're going to find this guy. And he is one of the very few sort of recognizable characters from the original 80s series to be produced. The last sort of master, or good guy master, is Ram Man, and he's going to be showing up in January. Very excited for that. I would say he's a must-have character, at least if you're just collecting the vintage figures, the main He-Man cast. He's a must-have along with Ram Man, Man-at-Arms, He-Man, Teela. And so anyway, I guess that'll be it for now. Stay tuned for more Masters of the Universe Classics reviews, and until next time, which I believe next month will be Rattler. I think just Rattler. I don't know if I'm getting anything else. And until then, I'll see you.